was saying to the public. I didn't know if he was mocking Jesus Christ like some of the Orthodox Jews do, but the gist is that they're out to capture the minds of people. This is a mind game that we're involved in. InfoWars.
Yeah, they use guilt over the environment to sell people into giving up their rights to them.
Giving up their rights to the state, but in this case to Gaia, Mother Earth. And they'll be rewarded for it. They'll get a razor blade ration that's special because they worship Mother Earth. But if you don't worship Mother Earth, you're toast.
By the way,
buy or sell because the bank won't give you those privileges. It all works together.
By the way,
for a very humongous society controlling us.
Well, going back to what you just said, the BBC this weekend had a headline that I showed people yesterday where they said rationing is needed. A credit ration on your card, like you said 20 years ago that they said. Now they're openly proposing you'll have a card and it has your rations on it for everyone for the earth. Every can of corn or beans will have a tax on it as well. But even if you have the money to buy it, you won't get it when your carbon credits run out. I mean, this is neo-feudalism. This is serfdom.
That's right. They're going to tax each can of beans or corn or whatever you have. They're going to determine how much of Mother Earth went into the growth of this product, and they're going to add that to the cost of the product.
As if life hurts life. The whole process of life and death and regeneration of food is what the life cycle is. By taxing carbon dioxide that plants breathe, that all animals exhale, they can corner the entire life cycle.
Yes, that's what they say. In fact, Rothschild said that he wanted to capture all of the carbon dioxide, turn it into dry ice, and ship the dry ice to the polar caps to keep them from melting. That's
and of course,
he's going to take care of it.
And of course, he would make the money off of doing that.
Excuse me, go ahead.
And of course, he would make the money off of that, like Bill Gates patenting all this stuff to stop carbon dioxide.
Oh, yeah, it would take a lot of dry ice to keep the polar caps from melting.
What about Bill and Melinda Gates and their eugenics foundation? Do you ever run into that?
No, I have the Gates Foundation. No, yes. I haven't run into. I think it's a passive organization that Bill Gates has. He doesn't seem like he's a killer or anything like that.
Well, we've done research on it. It's carefully guarded, and we've had some internal whistleblowers. I mean, his dad was the former head of Planned Parenthood, and he is for population reduction, and he's busy inoculating the little children.
Oh, didn't know that.
Well, there's a lot you've taught us, and there's a lot, that we all can teach each other here. There's so much more to get into, and your ideas of how to stop these people, and more of what you learned about their agenda. But I want to play some of these audio clips. But before I do that, before we get into the occult aspects some more, anything else you want to add, George Hunt?
Not to the spiritual part, but just keep on going, and maybe I can add some things to your talk.
Okay, you sent me 19 clips. We can play any of these clips you want, but I'm going to go ahead and play Maurice Strong, Banking Principles, because it all sounds slick and sweet and loving, but you can break down what he really means by that. And now, 20-something years later, we can see it's all been proven you were correct in what you got from this. But here's Maurice Strong that you recorded at one of the meetings. Here it is.
Now, all I'm saying really is that there are many areas in which it is possible to apply banking principles. Michael Sweetman is a banker. He has run major banking organizations. And when he has proposed this idea, he'll have to talk for himself, but my understanding of it was that it was meant to tap new sources of funding, to channel into these areas in which an important conservation objective can be achieved in a manner compatible with an economic return, a bankable economic return.
Okay, now we see that today. Later in clips, they talk about every corporation and company having to give money to this bank that will then save the environment. Comments on that, George Hunt?
Could you repeat that question, Alex?
Can we turn our audio up to you? I was saying, in these clips, they're talking about banking principles. And comments on that.
I think if I played the first clip for you, it would make it clearer to your audience.
Okay, let's play clip number 1. Michael Sweetman introduces the bank.
Yeah, there might be more in there for your listeners.
Okay. Here's that clip.
I wonder if people are probably still coming in, but I think we need to get on with the agenda. I'm going to ask Maurice Strong to open the session with some remarks. I'm then going to ask him to introduce Mr. Rothschild on my left. And following some remarks from Mr. Rothschild, briefly set the scene, and then we're going to open it to the floor and see if we can get some dialogue and get some response, some questions and some ideas from you. And we'll take it from there. We've got 3 days. We've got various topics we're dealing with, as the program indicates. We've got some very good people on these panels, and they've come a long way, some of them, to be here. And I really appreciate that, because they clearly indicate an interest. And I think we're going to have a very interesting time over the next 3 days. But not just an interesting time. I hope we're going to have a very productive time over the next 3 days. And we're going to come out by tomorrow night, at any rate, with a resolution which we have to hand to the Resolutions Committee if we want a resolution about the World Conservation Bank in the Congress proceedings, and I trust that we do. So we've got to think about that as well. I suggest what we might do is to cover that at the end of these 2 sessions this afternoon, and maybe somebody might like to stay back and we could discuss how we proceed with that.
Yes, George, I could hear it. We were finishing the clip you sent us. We're going to break.
It was kind of long. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's good. Okay. It's great.
We're going to introduce the bank. Did you hear that we have to present this tomorrow? And so we convened here with you to get your ideas towards this bank. It was a con job.
Sure. I mean, the UN always has its plan already set, and then they just have a meeting with some of the elitists, and then it's already been ratified. Stay there. We're going to come back and go over more of this. Got a bunch of clips coming up. Stay with us.
Hello. At OfTheField.com, we strive to empower you with wild food preparedness. We get lots of amazing positive feedback, most of which we feature on OfTheField.com. Here's a small sample of all that people like you have to say about the wild food experience.
It's inspiring for many who are affected by the recent downturn of the economy.
I already knew a bit about foraging and edibles, but you take it to a whole new level.
1,000 thanks to you for all that great knowledge. It was empowering.
When I was in the Navy, I went through a couple of quick land survival classes.
Thank you for being an inspiration and for all the work that you do.
I really appreciate the depth and detail of the information.
Thank you so much.
Much love and respect to you from all of us here in the boonies.
Thanks again.
Knowledge is power, and that power brings peace.
Folks, thanks for letting us help you get back to basics. Read all of the testimonials at ofthefield.com. You can order online for you and your loved ones, or call 1-888-51-EAT-FREE to share in the secret.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Hounded by debt collectors with phone calls and letters? Thinking of calling a debt relief company? Don't. Greedy lawyers and debt companies charge thousands. Why pay when you can get their solution absolutely free with New York Times best-selling author Herb Kay's #1 debt secret, the how-to on stopping the calls without paying the debt companies. Yes, free for a very limited time. Here's Herb Kay.
Don't get ripped off by credit repair companies when I can give you the information you need to do it yourself for free.
Herb Kay was right. His free information helped me stop the calls and settle my debt.
What have you got to lose? Stop the calls now, get out of debt, and have more money. Get Herb Kay's #1 debt secret absolutely free now. Call 888-352-7726. That's 888-352-7726. 888-352-7726.
If you want to see this all put in context, folks, get the film Endgame: Blueprint for Global Enslavement on DVD, 2.5 hours long.